Listen to me now, because what I am about to tell you could be the difference between spending the rest of your years watching life pass you by through a window, or finally stepping into the garden of joy you were always meant to inhabit. I have walked this earth for many lifetimes in spirit, and I have seen the same tragedy repeat itself over and over again. Women of magnificent light, women who contain entire universes within their souls, sitting alone in empty rooms, convinced they are no longer worthy of being seen, of being desired, of being cherished. And the cruelest part? They believe this lie so deeply that they become invisible, not because they lack beauty or value, but because they have forgotten how to let their own light shine. They have become ghosts in their own lives. I am Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and for centuries my teachings have unlocked the hidden chambers of the heart. I have studied the mysteries of creation, the sacred architecture of desire, the invisible threads that bind souls together, and today I speak directly to you. Yes, you, the woman who wonders if she will ever be truly seen again, the woman who questions whether love is still possible at this stage of life, the woman who fears she has become invisible to the masculine eye. I am here to tell you something that will shake the very foundation of what you believe about attraction, about desire, about your own power. You see, there is a woman right now. Perhaps you know her, perhaps you are her, who sits at her kitchen table in the morning, coffee growing cold in her hands, staring at nothing. She has done everything society told her to do. She raised children, she built a home, she sacrificed her dreams for others. She gave and gave until she forgot what it felt like to receive. And now, whether through divorce, widowhood, or simply the slow erosion of passion in a long marriage, she finds herself asking the question that haunts her in the darkness. Am I still desirable? Can I still capture a man's attention? Or has that door closed forever? This woman, this beautiful, powerful woman, has forgotten something crucial. She has forgotten the ancient wisdom that I am about to share with you. She believes that attraction is about youth, about physical perfection, about competing with women half her age. She believes she must work harder, try harder, do more. She scrolls through social media, comparing herself to filtered images, feeling her confidence drain away with each swipe. She buys creams and clothes. She forces herself into uncomfortable situations. She pretends to be someone she is not, all in a desperate attempt to be noticed. And here is the devastating truth that keeps me awake in the celestial realms. None of it works. In fact, it does the opposite. The more she tries, the more invisible she becomes. The more she reaches out, the more men pull away. She is caught in a trap of her own making, and with each passing day, she sinks deeper into despair. But this is where the real danger begins. Because while she is busy trying so hard to be seen, while she is exhausting herself with effort and strategy, something is happening that she has not yet noticed. Her former partner, if she has one, or the man she desires, is naturally drawn toward energy that feels effortless, toward presence that radiates calm confidence, toward a woman who seems completely at peace with herself. And if you are not that woman, if you continue down this path of desperate seeking, of trying to manufacture attraction through force of will, I must tell you something that will be difficult to hear, but absolutely necessary for you to understand. He will find that energy elsewhere. He will find that woman who knows what I am about to teach you. He will be drawn to her like a moth to flame, and it will not be because she is younger or more beautiful than you. It will be because she understands the secret that you are about to learn. but only if you listen carefully. Only if you let my words penetrate the armor of doubt you have built around your heart. The clock is ticking, my dear one. Every day you spend trapped in the old paradigm of attraction. Every day you waste trying to force something that can only flow naturally is a day that brings you closer to a reality you do not want to face. Imagine waking up 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and realizing that you spent all that time chasing love in the wrong direction, using the wrong tools, believing the wrong teachings. Imagine watching the man you desire, or could desire, build a life with someone else, not because she is better than you, but simply because she knew something you did not. This is not a hypothetical tragedy. This is happening right now, in this very moment, to women all over the world. Women who possess incredible gifts, who have so much love to give, who are ready for deep connection, but who are standing in their own way because no one has taught them the truth about masculine desire, about spiritual attraction, about the Kabbalistic principles that govern the dance between masculine and feminine energy. And here is what makes this even more urgent. Men do not wait. The masculine energy, by its very nature, moves toward what attracts it. When a man encounters a woman who embodies the principles I am about to share with you, his attention is captured instantly and completely. He cannot help himself. It is not a conscious decision. It is a response that happens at the level of soul, at the level of ancient programming that goes back to the very beginning of creation. And if you are not that woman, if you do not understand how to activate this response, then you are leaving your romantic future entirely to chance, entirely to luck. And I must ask you, is that a risk you are willing to take? Because let me paint you an even darker picture, one that I have witnessed too many times in my observations of human behavior. Not only does the woman who does not understand these principles lose the opportunity for love and connection, but she also begins to lose herself. She becomes bitter. She becomes resentful. She starts to believe that all men are shallow, that love is only for the young, that her time has passed. She builds walls around her heart so thick that even when opportunity comes knocking, she cannot hear it. She becomes a prisoner of her own fear, her own doubt, her own wounded pride. And the tragedy deepens, because her children, if she has them, watch this happening. They absorb her bitterness, her resignation, her belief that love is something that expires with age. Her friends begin to avoid her because her energy has become heavy, dark, filled with complaint. She looks in the mirror and no longer recognizes the vibrant woman she once was. She has become a shadow, a whisper, a fading echo of potential that was never fully realized. But here's what makes this situation even more painful. While she is sinking into this despair, the man she desired, or could have desired, is experiencing something entirely different. He has met someone, not necessarily younger, not necessarily more beautiful in the conventional sense, but someone who radiates a quality that he finds irresistible. This woman smiles at him, and her smile contains no agenda, no desperation, no need for validation. She speaks to him, and her words flow from a place of inner abundance rather than inner lack. She moves through the world with a grace that suggests she has access to some secret source of joy that he desperately wants to be near. And without even realizing why, he finds himself thinking about her constantly. He finds excuses to be in her presence. He begins to plan his future with her in it. And the most devastating part? He is not even aware that he is doing this. He genuinely believes he has made a choice. that he has selected her based on rational criteria. He does not understand that he is simply responding to ancient spiritual laws that have governed attraction since the beginning of time. Laws that you do not yet understand, but that I am about to reveal to you. So now the woman who did not learn these principles watches from the sidelines as the man builds a life with someone else. She sees the photos on social media, the trips they take together, the way he looks at her with genuine adoration, the life they are creating. And she asks herself the question that torments her every single day. What does she have that I do not? Why her and not me? What am I missing? And this is where the pain becomes almost unbearable, because deep down, she knows the answer. Deep down, she understands that she gave away her power, that she tried so hard to be chosen that she forgot how to be the chooser, that she was so focused on being seen that she forgot how to truly see herself with love and appreciation. But by the time this realization arrives, it feels too late. The man has moved on. The opportunity has passed. And she is left alone with her regrets, her what-ifs, her endless mental replay of moments where she could have done things differently if only she had known what I am about to teach you. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and truly feel the weight of what I have just described. I want you to let it sink into your bones, into your cells, into the very core of your being. Because this is not about fear-mongering. This is about truth-telling. This is about making absolutely certain that you understand what is at stake here. Your happiness, your fulfillment, your chance at experiencing the kind of love that most women only dream about. Your opportunity to feel desired, cherished, adored, not despite your age, but because of the wisdom and depth that comes with it. The question you must ask yourself right now, in this very moment, is this: are you ready to continue down the path you have been on? The path that has not been working? The path that leaves you feeling invisible and insignificant and unworthy? Or are you ready to learn something that will change everything? Are you ready to discover the 11 keys that will allow you to attract masculine attention without effort, without games, without exhausting yourself in pursuit of validation that never comes? Because I promise you this: what I am about to share with you is not theory. This is not positive thinking or manifestation or any of the shallow teachings that flood the marketplace today. This is ancient Kabbalistic wisdom, tested over centuries, proven by countless women who have transformed their romantic lives by understanding and applying these principles. These are the secrets that have been passed down through generations, hidden in mystical texts, encoded in sacred stories, waiting for someone to translate them into language that modern women can understand and use. But before I give you these keys, I need you to understand something fundamental about how masculine desire actually works. Because if you do not understand this foundation, if you try to apply these principles without grasping the deeper structure beneath them, you will fail. You will dismiss what I teach you as too simple, too easy, too unlike the complicated strategies you have been trying. And you will go back to the old ways, the ways that do not work, the ways that leave you exhausted and unfulfilled. So listen carefully. In the Kabbalah, we speak of two primary forces that govern all of creation: Or, which is light, and Kli, which is vessel. The light is infinite, abundant, always flowing, always seeking expression. The vessel is the container that receives the light, shapes it, gives it form. Neither can exist without the other. The light needs the vessel to have purpose. The vessel needs the light to have meaning. In the dance between masculine and feminine, the masculine carries the energy of light, active, seeking, pursuing, giving. The feminine carries the energy of vessel, receptive, magnetic, drawing in, receiving. Now, this does not mean that women are passive or submissive. This is not about old patriarchal ideas of gender roles. This is about energy, about spiritual principles that exist beyond the limitations of social conditioning. And here is what most women do not understand. When you chase after masculine attention, when you pursue, when you try to convince or prove or demonstrate your worth, you are operating in masculine energy. You are trying to be the light when your power lies in being the vessel. And the tragic irony is that masculine energy is not attracted to masculine energy. Like repels like. The masculine is magnetically drawn to the feminine. But only when the feminine is operating in its true power, its authentic nature, its essential frequency. This is why trying so hard never works. This is why all your efforts leave you feeling more invisible rather than more seen. You are broadcasting the wrong signal. You are speaking the wrong language. You are trying to attract through force when attraction only happens through magnetic pull. Now, you might be thinking, but Rabbi, are you telling me to just sit back and do nothing? Are you saying I should wait passively for love to come to me? And this is where the teaching becomes subtle, where most people misunderstand the wisdom I am sharing. Because I am not telling you to do nothing. I am telling you to do something completely different than what you have been doing. I am telling you to shift from pushing energy to pulling energy, from chasing to attracting, from trying to being. And this shift, my dear one, changes everything. When you master this shift, when you truly embody these 11 keys that I am about to give you, men will begin to notice you everywhere you go. Not because you are trying to get their attention, but because you have activated something within yourself that is irresistible to the masculine soul. You will walk into a room, and eyes will turn toward you. You will speak, and men will lean in to hear every word. You will simply exist, and your presence will communicate value, worthiness, desirability at a level that bypasses conscious thought and speaks directly to the ancient part of the masculine psyche that recognizes a woman of true power. Is this starting to make sense? Are you beginning to see why everything you have tried before has not worked? Are you ready to release the old programming and embrace a completely new paradigm of attraction? Because I am about to give you the keys, the actual practical steps, the specific tools that will transform how men perceive you and respond to you. But you must promise me something. You must promise that you will not just listen with your mind, but that you will feel with your heart. That you will commit to actually applying what I teach you. That you will give yourself permission to step fully into your feminine power without apology, without hesitation, without the fear of being too much or not enough. Are you ready? Then let us begin with the first key. The first key is presence without pursuit. This is the foundation of everything else I will teach you. Presence without pursuit means that you learn to be completely present in your own body, in your own life, in your own joy, without any energy reaching out towards someone else for validation or approval or attention. Think about a beautiful flower in a garden. The flower does not chase after the bee. The flower does not send out desperate signals begging the bee to notice it. The flower simply blooms, fully and completely, releasing its fragrance into the air, radiating its colors into the world, being utterly and totally itself. And the bee, drawn by instinct, by ancient programming, by forces it does not even understand, flies directly to the flower. This is the energy you must cultivate. When you are in a room with a man you find attractive, your entire focus must be on your own internal experience, not on whether he is looking at you, not on what he is thinking, not on how to get his attention. You must be so anchored in your own pleasure, your own comfort, your own joy, that your energy creates a field around you, a field of contentment, of abundance, of inner wealth. And masculine energy, which is always seeking, always hunting, always looking for that which is valuable and rare, will detect this field and be drawn to it like metal to a magnet. But how do you actually do this? How do you achieve presence without pursuit when every fiber of your being wants to look at him, to get his attention, to make something happen? This requires practice, my dear one. This requires that you redirect your awareness again and again back to yourself. Notice the sensation of your feet on the ground. Feel the breath moving in and out of your body. Pay attention to the sounds around you, the temperature of the air, the fabric of your clothes against your skin. Bring yourself fully into the present moment, into your own sensory experience. And when you catch yourself reaching out energetically toward him, when you notice that your awareness has left your body and gone toward his, simply guide it back home, back to yourself. This is not game playing. This is not manipulation. This is the most authentic thing you can do, because your power has always resided within you, not in his response to you. And when you operate from this place of centered presence, something magical happens. He becomes curious. He starts to wonder about you. He finds himself wanting to know what you are thinking, what you are feeling, what makes you smile, what captures your attention. Because most women he encounters are energetically pursuing him, trying to impress him, seeking his approval. But you are different. You are complete unto yourself. And this difference is what makes you unforgettable. The second key is authentic radiance. Now, you must understand that radiance has nothing to do with physical beauty in the conventional sense. I have seen women who would be considered plain by society's standards who radiate such light that every person in the room is drawn to them. And I have seen women who are physically stunning, but who emit such darkness, such inner poverty, that people instinctively move away from them. Radiance comes from one source and one source only. Loving yourself so completely, so unconditionally, that your inner light has no choice but to shine through. But here is what most women do not realize. You cannot fake this. You cannot put on radiance like makeup or jewelry. Men, especially mature men who have experience with women, can detect false radiance instantly. They can sense when you are performing rather than being. They can feel when your smile is forced, when your laughter is manufactured, when your joy is conditional. And it repels them at a subconscious level because it signals insecurity, neediness, inauthenticity. True radiance requires that you do the inner work. It requires that you heal the wounds that make you believe you are not enough. It requires that you release the comparisons, the judgments, the harsh internal voice that tells you that you are too old, too heavy, too imperfect to be desired. It requires that you begin to see yourself through the eyes of the divine, which looks at you and sees only beauty, only magnificence, only infinite potential. How do you cultivate this? You begin each day with a practice of self-appreciation. Before you even get out of bed, before you look in the mirror and start cataloging your flaws, you place your hand on your heart and you speak words of love to yourself. You thank your body for carrying you through life, for allowing you to experience pleasure and sensation. You acknowledge your courage, your resilience, your capacity to love even after being hurt. You remind yourself that you are a daughter of the infinite, a vessel capable of containing divine light, A woman whose value is not determined by any external measure, but by the simple fact of your existence. And then, throughout the day, you practice catching yourself in moments of self-criticism and transforming them into moments of self-compassion. When you look in the mirror and your first thought is criticism, you pause, you breathe, and you find something to appreciate instead. Maybe it is the wisdom in your eyes. Maybe it is the strength in your hands. Maybe it is the way you move through the world with grace, despite everything you have endured. You train yourself, gradually, patiently, persistently, to become your own best friend, your own greatest advocate, your own source of validation. And as you do this inner work, something begins to shift in how you move through the world. Your smile becomes genuine because it flows from inner contentment rather than a desire to please. Your laugh becomes infectious because it bubbles up from real joy. Your energy becomes magnetic because it is not seeking anything from anyone. It is simply overflowing from an internal abundance that can no longer be contained. This is authentic radiance. And when a man encounters it, he is stopped in his tracks. He wants to be near it. He wants to bask in it. He wants to discover the source of it. Without you doing anything to pursue him, he begins to pursue you. Now, before I continue, let me ask you something. How long has it been since you truly felt beautiful? Not in a superficial way. Not because someone complimented you or because you had a good hair day, but in a deep, cellular way. How long has it been since you looked in the mirror and felt genuine appreciation for the woman looking back at you? If the answer is too long or never, then you are beginning to understand why attraction has been difficult. Because if you do not radiate love for yourself, how can you expect anyone else to feel it for you? The external world is always a reflection of your internal world. Always. The third key is mystery through selectivity. Listen carefully to this one, because it contradicts almost everything modern dating culture teaches. In today's world, women are told to be open books, to share everything, to be immediately available, to reveal all their thoughts and feelings and history right away. But this approach destroys mystery. And without mystery, attraction cannot deepen. It might spark initially, but it fizzles out quickly because there is nothing left to discover, nothing left to wonder about. Masculine energy is designed to pursue, to hunt, to seek, to uncover. When everything is revealed immediately, when there is no mystery left to solve, the masculine loses interest, not because men are shallow, but because this is how the energy operates. The Kabbalah teaches us that desire exists in the space between having and not having, between knowing and not knowing. When that space is eliminated, desire disappears with it. So what does mystery through selectivity mean? It means that you do not offer all of yourself immediately. It means that you reveal yourself gradually, in layers, allowing him to earn each new level of intimacy through his consistent presence, his genuine interest, his demonstrated worthiness. It means that you do not answer every question completely. You leave something to wonder about. You do not fill every silence with nervous chatter. You allow pauses, gaps, spaces where his imagination can play. But here is the crucial distinction. This is not about playing hard to get. This is not about games or manipulation or making yourself artificially scarce. This is about genuine selectivity, about having standards, about understanding that you are a precious treasure that should not be given away to just anyone who shows passing interest. You are selective because you value yourself, not because you are trying to control or manipulate his behavior. This means that you do not immediately rearrange your entire life to accommodate his schedule. You have your own life, your own interests, your own commitments that matter to you. When he calls, sometimes you are available and sometimes you are not. Not because you are playing a game, but because you are genuinely engaged with other aspects of your life that bring you joy and meaning. When he asks about your past, you share some things, but keep other things private. Not because you are being secretive, but because intimacy is earned gradually, not given all at once. And here is what happens when you embody mystery through selectivity. His interest intensifies. He begins to think about you when you are not there. He finds himself wanting to know more, wanting to peel back the layers, wanting to earn your trust and your openness. The pursuit that is natural to masculine energy is activated, and he begins to invest more energy, more attention, more effort into winning your affection. Not because you are manipulating him, but because you have triggered his natural inclination to pursue that which is valuable and not easily attained. The fourth key is emotional sovereignty. This might be the most important key of all, because without it, the other keys will not work. Emotional sovereignty means that you are the source of your own emotional state. You do not depend on his calls, his texts, his attention, his validation to feel happy or secure or worthy. You create your own joy. You generate your own peace. You are complete within yourself. Most women give away their emotional sovereignty without even realizing it. They wake up and check their phone, and their entire mood is determined by whether he has messaged them. They plan their day around the hope of hearing from him. They analyze every word he says, every gesture he makes, looking for evidence of his interest level. They ride an emotional roller coaster that goes up when he gives attention and crashes down when he does not. And this energy of emotional dependence is deeply unattractive to masculine energy, not because men want women to suffer, but because the masculine is seeking a partner, not a dependent child. When you achieve emotional sovereignty, you become like the sun, generating your own light, your own warmth, your own energy. You do not need him to shine. You shine simply because that is your nature. And this quality, more than almost anything else, captivates the masculine heart. Because every man, at his deepest level, wants to be with a woman who chooses him from abundance, not from need. He wants to be wanted, not needed. He wants to add to your happiness, not be responsible for creating it. How do you develop emotional sovereignty? You begin by taking radical responsibility for your emotional state. You stop blaming your mood on external circumstances, and you start asking yourself, what can I do right now to feel better? What practices, activities, thoughts can I engage with that will lift my spirit? You build a life so rich, so full of meaning and pleasure, that no single person's behavior can significantly impact your overall well-being. This means cultivating friendships that nourish you. It means pursuing passions that excite you. It means creating rituals that bring you peace. Perhaps meditation, perhaps dance, perhaps time in nature, perhaps creative expression. It means connecting with something larger than yourself, whether that is God, the universe, your community, or a cause you believe in. You build so many sources of joy, connection, and meaning into your life that any one source, including romantic attention, becomes just one thread in a rich tapestry rather than the entire fabric of your existence. And when you operate from emotional sovereignty, your relationship dynamic changes completely. You do not interrogate him about his feelings. You do not need constant reassurance. You do not create drama to get attention. You simply show up as a full human being who is happy to share time with him when he is present, and equally happy to engage with your own beautiful life when he is not. This is incredibly attractive because it signals high value, inner wealth, and emotional maturity. Think about it this way. If you saw two gardens, and one garden's flowers drooped and withered the moment the sun went behind a cloud, while the other garden's flowers remained vibrant and beautiful regardless of weather conditions because they had deep roots and inner resources, which garden would you consider more valuable? The masculine psyche responds the same way. It is drawn to women who have deep roots, who have cultivated inner resources, who remain vibrant regardless of external circumstances. Now I want to pause here and ask you, are you beginning to see how different this approach is from what you have been doing? Are you starting to understand why your previous efforts have not worked? Most women are operating from a paradigm of scarcity, trying to capture attention because they believe opportunities are limited, trying to hold on tightly because they fear loss, trying to prove their worth because they doubt their value. But everything I am teaching you comes from a paradigm of abundance. You attract because you are already full. You draw him in because you do not need him to complete you. You become irresistible because you are already whole. The fifth key is sacred sensuality. Now, this is where many women misunderstand what men actually want. They believe that sensuality is about dressing provocatively, about being overtly sexual, about performing sexuality in the way they see in movies or magazines. But true sensuality, the kind that captures masculine attention at the deepest level, has very little to do with overt sexuality and everything to do with being fully present in your body, fully connected to your senses, fully alive to the pleasure of physical existence. A sensual woman is one who savors her food rather than rushing through meals. She is one who moves with awareness rather than hurrying unconsciously from place to place. She is one who notices beauty. The color of the sky, the texture of fabric, the scent of flowers. She is one who touches things with appreciation, who speaks with attention to the sound and rhythm of her voice, who is so present in her physical form that others can feel the aliveness radiating from her. This quality of sacred sensuality is deeply magnetic to masculine energy because men, in their essence, crave being brought into the present moment, into the body, into sensory awareness. Most men live primarily in their heads, in achievement mode, in problem-solving consciousness. When they encounter a woman who is fully embodied, who radiates physical presence and sensory pleasure, they are drawn to her like a person who has been living in black and white suddenly encountering color. She represents a doorway into a dimension of experience they are hungry for, but often do not know how to access on their own. How do you cultivate sacred sensuality? You begin by slowing down. In a world that glorifies speed and productivity, you make the revolutionary choice to move through life at a pace that allows you to actually feel your experience. You take time to prepare meals and eat them with attention. You choose clothes not based on what is trendy, but based on what feels good against your skin. You walk with awareness of how your body moves through space. You notice temperature, texture, sound, scent, taste. All the sensory information that most people filter out in their rush through life. You also develop a practice of pleasure that is completely independent of any partner. You learn what brings you joy in your body. You take baths that feel luxurious. You dance for the simple pleasure of movement. You give yourself massage. You wear fabrics that feel sensuous. You surround yourself with beauty, fresh flowers, candles, music that moves you. You treat yourself as the precious sensory being that you are, and this treatment creates an energy field around you that is palpable to others. And when you are with a man, Your sensuality is communicated not through overt gestures, but through simple presence. The way you bring a cup to your lips. The way you laugh from your belly rather than from your throat. The way you touch his arm naturally, without agenda, when you are making a point. The way you maintain eye contact just a moment longer than is strictly necessary. These subtle expressions of embodied presence create an undercurrent of attraction that is far more powerful than any overt sexual display. The sixth key is boundaries as love. This is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of feminine power. Most women believe that boundaries will push men away, that saying no will result in rejection, that having limits will make them seem difficult or high maintenance. But the opposite is true. Men of genuine quality are attracted to women who have clear boundaries because boundaries signal self-respect, self-knowledge, and inner strength. Think about it from the masculine perspective. If a man encounters a woman who agrees with everything he says, who molds herself to his preferences, who has no clear sense of what she will and will not accept, what does this communicate? It communicates that she does not value herself highly. It suggests that she is willing to abandon her own needs and preferences to keep him around. And while this might be convenient for him in the short term, it is not attractive in the deeper sense. It does not inspire respect. It does not create the kind of polarity that generates lasting desire. But when a man encounters a woman who knows what she wants, who can clearly articulate what works for her and what does not, who is willing to walk away from situations that do not honor her worth, everything changes. Suddenly, he is dealing with a woman of substance, a woman who values herself, a woman who is not so desperate for his attention that she will accept anything. And this creates a completely different dynamic, one where he must rise to meet her standards rather than relaxing into the comfort of knowing she will accept whatever he offers. Now, setting boundaries does not mean being rigid or difficult. It does not mean creating arbitrary rules or tests. It means knowing your own values, your own needs, your own limits, and communicating them clearly and calmly, without apology or justification. It means that when he suggests something that does not align with what you want, you can simply say, "No, thank you. That does not work for me," without needing to explain yourself excessively or soften the boundary with apologies. For example, if he habitually texts you late at night looking for casual connection but never makes actual plans to see you, a woman without boundaries continues to respond, hoping that eventually this will turn into something more substantial. But a woman who understands boundaries as love says, "I enjoy our conversations, but I am not available for late-night texting. If you would like to spend time together, I am happy to make plans in advance." This is said without anger, without punishment, without passive-aggressive undertones. It is simply a clear statement of what does and does not work for her. And here is what happens. Men who are not actually interested in honoring her worth will disappear, which is the best possible outcome because it saves her from wasting time on someone who is never going to give her what she truly desires. But men who recognize her value, men who are capable of meeting a quality woman, will step up. They will adjust their behavior. They will recognize that they are in the presence of someone special, someone who will not settle for less than she deserves. And this recognition triggers their desire to win her over, to prove themselves worthy of her time and attention. The seventh key is joyful independence. This builds on emotional sovereignty, but takes it further. Joyful independence means that you have built a life that you genuinely love, a life so rich with meaning and pleasure that a relationship is truly a bonus rather than a necessity. When you embody joyful independence, You are not sitting at home waiting for love to arrive. You are out in the world, engaged with life, pursuing interests that fascinate you, contributing to causes that matter to you, spending time with people who energize you. This quality is magnetic for several reasons. First, it demonstrates that you are a person of substance, someone with depth and dimension beyond your romantic availability. Second, it means that when he does spend time with you, he is getting the best version of you, the you that is engaged, energized, passionate about life, rather than the depleted, resentful you that emerges when your entire existence revolves around waiting for his attention. Third, it creates natural scarcity without you having to manufacture it, because you genuinely have limited availability due to your rich, full life. But here is the key. This cannot be faked. If you are filling your schedule with activities you do not actually enjoy just to appear busy, if you are pretending to be content when you are actually desperately lonely, if you are performing independence while secretly obsessing over why he has not called, the masculine psyche will sense the inauthenticity. Remember, men might not be as emotionally articulate as women, but they are highly attuned to energy, to truth, to what is real versus what is performed. So joyful independence requires that you actually do the work of building a life you love. This might mean finally taking that art class you have been thinking about for years. It might mean traveling to places you have always wanted to see. It might mean deepening friendships that have become superficial. It might mean finding ways to contribute your gifts to your community. It might mean pursuing a passion project that has nothing to do with your career or your family obligations, but exists purely for the joy it brings you. And as you build this rich life, something magical happens. You become more interesting. You have stories to tell. You have experiences that light you up when you talk about them. You have a sparkle in your eye that comes from genuine engagement with life, rather than from hoping someone will rescue you from boredom or loneliness. And this vitality, this aliveness, this evidence of a woman who knows how to create her own joy, this is deeply, profoundly attractive to mature masculine energy. The eighth key is receptive appreciation. Now we are getting into very subtle territory, but this might be the key that transforms everything for you. Most women, especially those who have been hurt or disappointed in the past, have closed down their capacity to receive. They have built walls around their hearts. They have become so focused on protecting themselves from pain that they have also shut out pleasure, appreciation, genuine connection. And while this self-protection is understandable, it creates a significant problem in the realm of attraction. The masculine, at its core, wants to give. Men find deep satisfaction in being able to positively impact a woman they care about, in making her happy, in seeing her light up because of something they have done or said or provided. But when a woman cannot receive, when she deflects compliments, when she rejects offers of help, when she is so defended that nothing can penetrate her armor, the masculine feels rejected and eventually stops trying. Receptive appreciation means that you have opened yourself again to receiving gifts, compliments, help, attention, affection, and that when you receive, you do so with genuine appreciation rather than suspicion, guardedness, or immediate reciprocation. When he compliments you, instead of deflecting or making a self-deprecating joke, you simply look him in the eye, smile, and say, "Thank you. That means a lot to me." When he offers to help you with something, instead of insisting you can handle it yourself, you allow him to contribute and you express gratitude for his effort. This might feel vulnerable. It might feel like you are giving him power over you. But actually, the opposite is true. When you can receive gracefully, you are demonstrating confidence, self-worth, and openness. You are showing that you believe yourself deserving of good treatment. You are creating an opportunity for him to experience the satisfaction of making you happy, which creates a positive feedback loop in the relationship. But receptive appreciation is not just about receiving from him. It is about being a woman who notices and appreciates beauty, kindness, effort, thoughtfulness wherever she encounters it. It is about expressing genuine gratitude for the small blessings of daily life. It is about being someone who sees what is good rather than focusing only on what is wrong or missing. This quality of appreciative awareness makes you delightful to be around, because people leave interactions with you feeling valued and seen rather than criticized and diminished. The ninth key is emotional fluidity. Women have a gift that men generally do not possess to the same degree: emotional intelligence and the capacity to move through the full spectrum of feelings without getting stuck. But many women have suppressed this gift, believing they need to be more logical, more controlled, more like men to be taken seriously. And in doing so, they have cut themselves off from one of their greatest sources of power and attractiveness. Emotional fluidity means that you allow yourself to feel fully: joy, sadness, excitement, disappointment, anger, tenderness, without being controlled by emotions, but also without suppressing them. You can cry when something moves you. You can laugh with abandon. You can express frustration when appropriate. You can show vulnerability. And you can move through these emotional states naturally, not getting stuck in any one feeling but allowing them to arise, peak, and pass like waves. This emotional authenticity is deeply attractive to men because it gives them permission to access their own emotional depth, which most men have been conditioned to suppress. When you are with a man and you respond to a beautiful sunset with genuine awe, when you tear up at a touching story, when you express excitement about something that matters to you, you are creating an emotional atmosphere that allows him to soften, to feel, to access parts of himself that he has shut down in the service of appearing strong and capable. But here is the crucial distinction. Emotional fluidity is not the same as emotional reactivity. Emotional reactivity means that your feelings control you, that you explode in anger or collapse in tears without any capacity for self-regulation, that you make others responsible for managing your emotional state. This is exhausting and unattractive. Emotional fluidity means that you feel deeply, but you are not overtaken by your feelings. You can notice what you are feeling, express it appropriately, and then return to center. The 10th key is faith in your own value. This might sound similar to self-love, but it is actually something distinct and equally important. Faith in your own value means that you have a deep, unshakable knowing that you are worthy of love, respect, devotion, not because of anything you do or achieve, but simply because you exist. This faith is not based on evidence. It does not depend on how many men are interested in you or whether your last relationship worked out or what you see when you look in the mirror. It is a spiritual conviction that transcends circumstances. When you have faith in your own value, you do not question whether you deserve good treatment. You expect it, not in an entitled way, but in a calm, confident way that communicates to others how you should be treated. You do not settle for breadcrumbs because you know you deserve the whole meal. You do not tolerate disrespect because you know your worth. You do not beg for attention because you understand that the right person will offer it freely. This faith creates a magnetic quality because it is so rare. Most people, if they are honest, carry deep doubts about their worthiness. They believe they need to earn love through achievement, through perfection, through service to others. But when a man encounters a woman who simply knows, without doubt, that she is valuable, it stops him in his tracks. It makes him want to be someone worthy of such a woman. It calls forth his highest self. How do you develop this faith? It is cultivated through spiritual practice, through connecting with the divine source that created you and seeing yourself through those eyes of unconditional love. It is built through choosing yourself again and again in small daily acts, honoring your needs, speaking your truth, walking away from situations that diminish you. It is strengthened every time you refuse to abandon yourself for the sake of keeping someone else comfortable. The 11th key, the final key, is playful challenge. This is where many women go wrong because they become so serious about relationship, so focused on where things are going and whether he is committed and what the future holds, that they forget to be fun. They forget to be playful. They forget to challenge him in ways that spark his interest and keep him on his toes. Playful challenge means that you do not agree with everything he says. You have your own opinions, and you express them with confidence and humor. You tease him gently. You engage in witty banter. You surprise him. You are not predictable. Sometimes you are warm and open. Sometimes you are more reserved and mysterious. Not because you are playing games, but because you are a complex, multidimensional human being who cannot be easily figured out or put into a box. Men are attracted to challenge because it stimulates them mentally and emotionally. A woman who simply agrees with everything, who never pushes back, who is always available and always accommodating, becomes boring quickly. There is no friction, no spark, no dynamic tension that keeps desire alive. But a woman who will call him on his nonsense with love and humor, who will debate ideas with him, who will say, "I see it differently," without needing him to change his mind, who will occasionally be just beyond his reach. This woman keeps him interested. The key is that the challenge must come from a place of playfulness and confidence, rather than criticism or control. You are not challenging him to change him or fix him. You are challenging him because you are a strong, independent woman with your own perspective, and you find him interesting enough to engage with authentically. This creates the kind of polarity and tension that keeps attraction alive long after initial infatuation fades. Now, as we bring this teaching to completion, I want you to take a deep breath and really absorb what you have learned here today. These 11 keys: presence without pursuit, authentic radiance, mystery through selectivity, emotional sovereignty, sacred sensuality, boundaries as love, joyful independence, receptive appreciation, emotional fluidity, faith in your own value, and playful challenge. These are not tricks or manipulations. These are qualities of a woman who has done the deep inner work of becoming whole, of healing her wounds, of connecting with her divine feminine essence. And when you embody these qualities, attraction happens naturally, effortlessly, without you having to chase or convince or prove anything. But I need you to understand something crucial. Knowledge alone will not transform your life. You can understand these principles intellectually and still remain stuck in the same patterns if you do not actually practice them, embody them, live them. This requires commitment. This requires that you catch yourself in old behaviors and choose differently. This requires that you be patient with yourself as you learn new ways of being. This requires faith that even when you cannot yet see the results, the inner transformation is happening, and the outer results will follow. I want you to start today, right now, with just one key. Choose the one that resonates most strongly with you, the one that feels like it holds the greatest potential for transformation in your life. And commit to practicing it for the next week. Really practice it. Notice when you are operating in the old way and consciously choose the new way. Journal about what you observe. Pay attention to how people respond to you differently as your energy shifts. And then, once you have integrated that first key, add another, and then another. Build these qualities layer by layer until they become natural expressions of who you are, rather than techniques you are trying to use. Because that is when the real magic happens. When these principles move from your head to your heart. When they become embodied wisdom rather than intellectual understanding. I have seen women in their 40s, 50s, 60s transform their entire romantic lives by applying these teachings. I have watched women who believed they were invisible suddenly find themselves with multiple quality men interested in them. I have witnessed women who were ready to give up on love entirely meet their true partner within months of shifting their energy in the ways I have described. This is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is the result of aligning yourself with spiritual laws that govern attraction, desire, and relationship. But you must believe in yourself. You must trust that you are worthy of the love you desire. You must have faith that by becoming the fullest expression of your feminine essence, you will naturally attract masculine energy that recognizes and values what you offer. You must be willing to release the old stories about your age, your appearance, your past failures, your perceived limitations, and step into a new story where you are the magnificent, desirable, worthy woman that you truly are. The man who is meant for you, the man who will cherish you, who will rise to meet you, who will bring out the best in you. He is looking for you. But he cannot find you if you are hidden behind walls of fear and doubt. He cannot recognize you if you are pretending to be someone you are not. He cannot be drawn to you if your energy is scattered, desperate, or depleted. But when you do this inner work, when you embody these 11 keys, when you shine with your authentic light, he will find you. Or more accurately, you will magnetize him to you through the sheer power of your aligned feminine presence. And when he does arrive, you will be ready. You will not lose yourself in the relationship. You will not abandon these principles because you are afraid of losing him. You will continue to be the woman who attracted him in the first place. Present, radiant, mysterious, sovereign, sensual, boundaried, independent, receptive, fluid, faithful in your value, and playfully challenging. This is how you create not just attraction, but lasting love, not just interest, but deep respect, not just romance, but true partnership. So I ask you now, what are you going to do with what you have learned today? Are you going to let it be just more information that you consume and forget? Or are you going to allow it to be the catalyst for profound transformation? Are you going to remain stuck in the patterns that have not served you? Or are you going to courageously step into a new way of being that aligns with your highest potential? The choice, my dear one, is yours. But know this: I did not share these teachings with you by accident. You were meant to hear this message at this exact moment in your life. The universe, the divine, the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all things, it has brought you to this teaching because you are ready. Ready to release the old, ready to embrace the new, ready to become the magnetic, irresistible, powerful woman you were always meant to be. So take these keys, hold them close to your heart, practice them daily, trust in their power, and watch as your entire romantic reality transforms before your eyes. The love you desire is not only possible, it is inevitable when you align yourself with these ancient, sacred principles that have governed attraction since the beginning of time. I am Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and I have walked this earth for centuries in spirit, watching, guiding, teaching those who are ready to receive wisdom. You have been chosen to receive this wisdom today. Do not squander this gift. Do not let fear or doubt or old patterns steal this opportunity from you. You are worthy. You are desirable. You are powerful beyond measure. And it is time for you to claim the love that has always been your birthright. Go now with my blessing. Embody these keys. Become the woman you were created to be. And allow love to find you in the most beautiful, unexpected, magical ways. The journey begins now. And I promise you, it will be worth every moment of courage it requires.